when last we saw your intrepid characters last week, you were getting ready to set off on a trek across the moors towards the ruins of a town called Efferwick. There to on a mission, on a murderous mission, to assassinate the glittering prophet, so that Maxwell's daughter Rebecca would be given safe passage out of the Greenhold to where she needs to go, which is Glastonbury Tor, and the price to pay for that safe passage from the Green, as dictated to you by the Green Knight, is to travel to Efferwich and find the glittering prophet and assassinate him. See how that works out. I am currently, am I okay? I thought my stream was going robotic there for a second. Hey, Varl, thank you so much. Varl throwing out the bits to start this little afternoon of ours, or evening of ours. Appreciate you, Varl. Thank you so much. So much. And so, as you head out, my friends, you have gotten your packs and your food and your supplies and your gifts together. Edith, the root witch of the Greenhold, is going with you, and the lot of you head out of the moor. So if we take a quick look at the at our regional map, you are in the Greenhold near in the north, and you are going to the south towards what is indicated as York on the map. So you have to cross the moors, which in the state that they're in and so on and so forth, it's going to take a couple days to get down past Harrogate towards York. It is important, I think, for me to stress at this point that none of you have really been out there. Most of you in the past year that you've been living here have stayed mostly in the Greenhold itself or in its immediate surroundings. And this is quite far. You've really not been out there, and a good section of this past the moors is going to be into what's called the withering. So you don't really know what to expect or what you're going to find there. You know that it's probably not going to be great. But you are dedicated and are on your way out there. As you head out past the Root King and down through the trails leading to the moors, at first you're into the area of the Greenhold, which is very green. There are trees and forested areas. There's beautiful valleys. You have farmland in there. Like, this is a very much a kind of little piece of paradise that you have down here. But shortly afterwards, as you crest the hills of the moors, you start finding yourselves basically heading into land that is much more devastated and arid. So on the image that we see on the screen now, you can see in the background the green of the Greenhold. But as soon as you crest into that hill, you find yourselves in the much more sparse and kind of swampy lands of the moors of what was once Yorkshire. You travel through it for some time. The first leg of your journey isn't too bad. You're still close to the Greenhold. You travel for a little while. You left early in the morning. You travel for a little while. You'll stop at some point and make camp and have yourself a little snack. You can boil some water, and things are going well. It's not incredibly arduous, but it is definitely something different than what you've done the past little while. Thank you, everyone, for all the support and the donation. Kurt. Kurt's just like, we need some.
I still count as a viewer, okay? I still count as a viewer.
That's like entering your own raffle.
You saying I can't?
I didn't say you couldn't. I
I'm
just
just
said that's what
saying.
it's like.
You're good,
Saying,
you're good.
my chance.
I do feel like I'm experiencing a little bit of lag, so if it gets too terrible, odds, let me know. I see it spike up once in a while. Assuming that it's when the air conditioning kicking up. But, so yeah, so you set out through the moors traveling. At first, Edith is fairly quiet, just kind of moving along. You'll see that she stops once in a while to pick up some specific herbs or to investigate something. She'll sort of take a look at the sky. She'll, she's doing witchy things. Basically, I guess the best way to kind of explain it, she's doing witchy things you're going along with. It is slowing you down a little bit, but not enough that you feel it's really kind of causing too much of an issue. During the first leg of this journey, so you'll have a few hours as you're traveling through the moors and heading towards your destination. Is there anything you want to do? Any discussions you want to have with anyone? Anything specific you would like to do in those few hours that you have as you're walking along?
I really am sorry, Lucine. I really don't want to be out here with you, like, all angry and stuff. I mean, like, I don't think I could be able to handle that one.
I think there are worse things for us to contend with than my personal feelings.
So all of these books that I've read and come across, and a lot of these magazines that I've managed to uncover and whatnot, they all seem to have one very solid thing: that when you're faced with danger and you're at odds with your friends, that generally people don't live. So, while they may be tales, I think that with every tale there's a grain of truth to that. So, like, with being out here and whatnot, and we can't have like any sort of like bad blood or anything like that, because that could mean that we could die, and that would be bad.
A compelling argument, to be sure.
Well, I'm just here to make sure no one, steps in a marsh or accidentally kills each other in their sleep. So,
You can kill each other in your sleep?
Accidentally.
on accident.
Evidently. Not that that's a particular concern.
Well, you brought it up, so now it is a concern.
It's not.
Listen.
It's really not. What you really need to be watching out for is don't follow the bog lights. And if you see any dashing red mushroom caps, don't follow those either. That's all. Right, Edith?
Bog lights. Is that like swamp gas? I read about swamp gas.
Do you know anything about the pickling process? About how when you put something in a jar and it ferments, pickling.
Well, I'm familiar with it, but I've never done it. I mean, like, I don't know what all goes into it. I just know that they're quite tasty.
Right. So should you follow the bog lights, you will likely end up like a pickle. And by that, I mean preserved under massive amounts of peat and moss. So don't follow the bog lights. Okay?
Okay.
I mean, that's just good advice. Listen, Max. Whatever I may be feeling, like I said before, I'm not going to let it get in the way of what we need to do beyond anything else. Our objective is the same. We're both here for Rebecca. I want to see her safe and well. So I'm going to do everything that I can to make that happen. I think it will be difficult for me to completely set aside my upset as long as I feel like you don't understand why I'm upset.
Okay.
Because I feel like if you understood, at least, even if you disagreed with it, at least if you understood why I was upset, it would help.
Well, I did something that you said not to do. Granted, my motivations may have been wavering at most, right? We'll say, okay. But I said sorry, and so because I said sorry, then you follow up with it's okay, things happen, and and then we go along. That's the order. That's the equation. That's how it works.
Max, forgiveness isn't something people are entitled to. It's a choice. You can say you're sorry, and you can be sorry, and I can even believe you, but it's still my choice as to whether or not I forgive you for what happened.
But that breaks the equation.
People aren't equations, Max. They're complicated in a way that doesn't end in a pretty solution or a bow.
The greatest difficulty we've encountered, says Edith, since we've been here, is that we now live in a world that really precludes us caring for the minority of the group. This world is no longer one where we can afford the luxury of making everyone safe and making everyone comfortable. This is a world that demands greater sacrifice than any before, because our inability to make sacrifice, our inability to make difficult choices before is what led to where we are now. And what we've struggled with the most is exactly what you, Maxwell, struggled with the other night. The notion of doing something that is for the benefit of everyone, but is not quite tangible, but instead choosing to do something for the benefit of one, which is much more tangible. And no one could fault you, Max, for wanting to be good to your daughter. No one could fault you for that. The issue that we're facing is that we are now in a world where that is a problem, and until we secure our hold in this place much more firmly, it is a luxury we will not be able to afford most of the time. So, the two of you made mistakes that night. And fortunately, no one paid a price for it. And in the grand scheme of things, that is all that matters. No one had to pay a price for either of your actions so far. I do believe that what happened to Rebecca would have happened either way. Don't have any proof of it, but if not last night, then it would have happened at some point, because clearly there was a night folk after her, so it would have eventually happened. If not yesterday, then some other day down the line. So for now, we have an opportunity to make sure that she doesn't suffer and that the rest of the Greenhold is safe, and so we move forward.
Right. Exactly what I thought too. Yeah. And as someone who's here to try and lead us, per Maxwell's suggestion that I lead us, I thought I would take a little bit more of a leadership role and just say, let's let bygones be bygones. No forgiveness is required. But if we're going to get through the swamps and through the marshes and through the rot of it all, we do have to act like a team, whether or not we're getting on. So, yeah. Could Christ, I'm not good at this, am I?
No, that was well put. What's the saying? Teamwork makes the dream work.
Sure, yeah, that's good, yeah.
There is no I in team, but there is a me.
Right, but you can flip some letters around. So let's focus on the team and efforts to help, right?
Right.
Good.
Well, we are following you right now, team leader. Seems like you know a fair amount about the marshes.
Well, I know a fair amount about what lives in the marshes. I know a little bit less about the terrain itself. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Well, you're about to discover something about it, says Edith, and as you are walking, you realize that every step you take now releases a mist from the ground, and quickly the mist starts to rise and fill out the valley where you are. The mist is cold and wet and kind of cloying, and the temperature goes from moderately warm and humid to precipitously cold within the span of a few yards, as the mist seems to find each and every little nook and cranny and opening of your clothes and seep in and just sort of cling on to your skin and just make you start to shiver almost immediately. I'm going to ask everyone to make a physique plus endurance roll.
Oh, now why are you making me roll my worst?
So could you, for our studio audience, remind us, it's if you've got a D6 in physique and D6 in endurance, you're rolling 2 D6.
That's right, and you can spend some karma if you want to get extra D6.
And you want them added together, right?
No, you're looking to roll at least 1 6.
Okay, then I'm gonna grab a karma and add an extra D6 in here, because we all know how well I roll D6s from that
I
one
rolled
time.
2 6s.
I got 1 7.
I got no 6s.
Oh, higher? Did you go higher?
So
No,
yeah, you can go higher, right? So you need 6 or higher, basically. So as long as you got at least a 6 or higher.
That did not roll higher than a 6.
I did not roll higher than a 6.
Okay, that's unfortunate.
So normally you could push your roll, but the penalty for failing the roll right now is the same as if you were pushing the roll. So you may just take it. The penalty being that you are going to very quickly become exhausted. So you're going to take the condition of exhausted. Yes?
I was going to say, I get my jerry rig at the start of every session, right?
You do. Yeah, actually, you should declare that. Yeah.
Okay, sorry. I was going to say, could I jerry rig like a bandana, like that I rub some charcoal in and then like put it over their face? Because technically that's a makeshift filter. Like if I see Grayson struggling or whatever, like he pulls out like a cloth and like pulls out a little chunk of charcoal and just rubs into it and like wraps it around his face.
Yeah, so go ahead and make a wits and science roll.
Alrighty. Ooh, wits and
That's
science.
so nice.
Fuck yeah, I am a smart guy. But not a fun guy.
But
Yeah. I got a 9 on my D12 and a 7 on my D8.
Okay, so that's 2 successes. So you, what Jury Rig does right now is that it gives you 2 gear dice that are Tinker gear dice. Okay, so you can give these to other players or use them yourself if you want. But you can give these to other players, to use as gear for whatever. So your idea of making the mask, you would make the mask and you would give that to Grayson. You would tell me if you're putting one or both gear dice in there.
Just one.
Okay. So what this does, Kato, is that it will give you another D6 to roll as a gear die. However, a gear die, Tinker gear die succeeds on a 4, 5, or 6 instead of just a 6.
So I'm just rolling the 1, but it's a gear die, and it would be a 4.
Yeah, because you've already rolled your stats.
Let's hope for no whammies. It was a whammy. It was a 2.
I tried.
You tried. You really did.
The advantage is that this is a tinker die, so it doesn't go away until you roll a 1.
So does that mean I keep rolling?
No, it just means if you have to reuse this filter later, you will have it. It'll still be
cool.
So it helps a little bit. The mask does help a little bit, but it's too late by the time that you get it on. For now. So you are going to take the exhausted condition. Now, when it comes to conditions, a couple things. One, the exhausted condition means that any roll that you make in your physique category is at a disadvantage. You have a few ways of healing a condition. One of them is to interact with your memento. Once per game, you can do that to heal a condition. You can get some rest, which will heal a condition also, and other players might have skills or abilities that would help you. Just so you know.
Oh, in that case, I have a question. My memento is in my pocket at all times. Could I be fiddling with that just a wee bit, kind of rubbing around my fingers?
Yeah, can you tell us a little bit about it, what it means to you?
In Grayson's pocket is 2 small iron nails that are attached like this with a wee bit of wire, and that is a gift from someone who's very special in her life, that she's still looking for, and she holds on to it because Grayson knows that one thing you never ever do is venture out into the world without a wee bit of iron on you.
And as you grab this and think of who it belonged to and all of that, which is the way you kind of center yourself and focus through, you feel that it's almost kind of like it's vibrating a little bit, like it's reacting to something, but you can definitely feel that it's vibrating a little bit in your hand when you have it, but it does help, and you find your exhaustion lifting, so you won't get the condition for now.
Thanks.
As you walk on through, you start realizing you're going to need to take some rest soon. You're going to need to get a little fire going and kind of dry out, and yourselves. The mist continues to envelop you. At some point, you come across a stone that's about half the size of you. Basically, it's maybe like 3.5 feet tall. It's kind of like a little menhir kind of thing. And as you approach it, you notice that a symbol has been carved in it, and the symbol is looks like a man. It's like a figure of a man with legs and arms, but instead of the head is this sort of almost sun-like explosion, this huge kind of balloon with concentric circles into it and rays and dots that kind of emanate from it.
Storyteller, can I roll my folklore stat to see if I recognize the symbol?
You surely may. It'll be empathy plus folklore.
Yes. Well, that's two failures is what that is, and I'm not gonna push myself just to recognize the symbol.
Edith will take a look at it, and will say she's never seen this particular one before. It reminds her of certain symbols that were found in caves and in ancient places back in the day for cultures that worshipped the sun, for example, things like that. But she's never seen this particular one before. You continue walking on, kind of powering through this mist, just kind of feeling the terrain angling up a little bit, and kind of hoping that if you can climb up a little bit, you'll clear the mist. And you do, as you climb up and are getting kind of to the end of how far you can walk without taking a rest at this point. You climb out, and it's really as if the the fog is just, it cuts off abruptly at some point as you climb up that little valley up. You crest a hill and you come out of the fog and you see below you a very strange sight. There is first of all, you can see a little copse of wood that is in the bottom of the next valley, and the mist doesn't kind of reach there. And in that copse of wood, you can see a cabin. There's a small cabin with a bit of smoke coming out of the chimney, and not pictured here, but absolutely present in the scene when you arrive there. You can see a number of sunflowers that have been planted around the house and have grown to be pretty tall.
What time of year is it again?
I do believe we had said that it was September-ish.
All right, that makes sense then.
Do you remember? Sorry.
I look over to Edith, and I look also at Lucien, and I just say, is this a trap? Because it could be a trap, or it could be sanctuary.
How lucky are we feeling?
Well, I mean, either way, it's convenient, right? Look at that house.
Right, a little too convenient? Sometimes I wonder.
Well, I mean, it could just be old and well, no, I guess there's smoke coming out of it, so somebody must live there, huh?
Lucien, you can make, if you want, a wits plus survival roll to see if you know of any buildings or houses or anything like this around here, like you can scour your Green Warden knowledge.
Yeah. What's plus survival? I can do that. I'm so witty. That is a 1 success.
You don't know of this particular house, but you do know that there are scattered around the area near, within a few hours walk of the Greenhold, certain isolated homesteads of people who have either departed the Greenhold or have managed to kind of escape the withering and come closer, but not wanted to approach a Greenhold or something like that. So it's not completely out of the ordinary or unheard of that there is a house here. You just don't know specifically who it might be.
Okay. I don't think it's a trap. Whoever it might be may not be fond of guests, but I don't think we're in any more danger than we already are. If they are willing to give us shelter for the evening, it would be quite helpful.
We are wary and prepared, so...
Wary and prepared is how I've stayed alive this whole time. So, yeah, I'd say it's worth a shot.
Well, you're the most charming of us, so I think you should knock on the door.
Me? Right, okay. Yeah, that's what a leader would do in this situation. So, and then I just march right up to the door and I give a wee shave and a haircut knock.
As you were heading there, Edith sits down cross-legged to the ground and pulls out things from her bag and starts to prepare something. You knock on the door, and when you do, the door opens. You don't hear anything inside.
Hello? Is anyone about? And you said there was smoke coming out the chimney, right?
Yeah, you can see that there's a fire in the hearth, The place doesn't look like it's abandoned. It looks like a home where a small family lives. It looks, rustic, but kind of fairly comfortable, like, people who've been here for a bit and have put some time into fixing the place up. And
Could I take a look around just to see if it looks suspicious, as if people left quickly, or if it seems like maybe someone has stepped out for the afternoon, and what I could glean about the circumstances of this house, or if there's any odd feeling as I kind of warily step across the threshold.
So you can roll your wits plus perception. Because you do have all the tricks, you can, if you want, use your stealth instead of your perception.
My stealth instead of my perception. That means I get a D10. How nice is that? Okay, here we go. 2d10. Please, no whammies. Fuck. Oh, wait, I got one success. Isn't that great?
Just for clarity's sake, what did you roll?
I rolled an 8 and a 1.
Okay, so good to remember that if you roll 10, 11, or 12, like on a D10 or D12, they count as 2 successes.
That is good to know, but I didn't roll that.
So with one success, you do not notice anything missing. You do not get a sense at all that anything is missing. What you do see, however, is in a far wall of what would be the kind of living area, you see a drawing that's on the wall. It appears to be, if you can see the image on, it appears to be a symbol very similar to the one you saw on the rock, a human figure with a sun instead of a head. There's a number of suns also drawn on the wall next to it that have clearly been done by children. There is a drawing of a small family that looks to be 2 people plus 3 children that has been drawn there. And on the wall are a number of words, almost kind of like a prayer.
Bless you.
Thanks.
That reads, "O golden Father, whose eyes no shadow escapes, receive what is freely laid before your dawn. Let this offering pass into your fire as seed passes into the earth. That the fields may rise green, the lambs stand strong, and the long winter remember our names no longer. Turn not your face from us. Burn away blight, falsehood, and barren years, and leave in their place only your warm and watchful light. As the sun ascends, so may our covenant endure."
I poke my head out and just say, right, so I think a wee family lives here, and it doesn't look...
friends.
Well, it doesn't look like anybody left under duress, perhaps, but no one's here, so...
Well, how does that work for, do you wait, sit on the porch or something and wait for him to come, or?
Can I look around for any signs of boots at the door, like people leaving quickly, or signs of any sort of fey activity?
Something.
So as you are doing that, Edith approaches, and you realize that she's been preparing this thing. She has a nail that she's wound the little feathers and some twine around, and she approaches the door and she pushes it into a crack in the door frame. But as you look around, you can see that what looks to be people's clothing and boots and things like that are all still here.
Do I see any markings specifically above the doorway or right at the threshold or around the windowsills in this place? Okay. Well, it doesn't seem like there's any odd things about it, except for the fact that there's a fire going and it looks like no one left quickly.
There is a second floor also. So,
Oh, well then immediately I'm going up there. I'm like, right, I'll see you on there. And I just beeline it up the stairs.
Wait a minute. Should you go up by yourself?
Yeah, all right. I'm gonna take a look around out here. If you want to follow Grayson.
Oh, okay. And I think you see him like reach inside of his jacket, and he like pulls out what amounts like a fucking hand cannon. He goes, "Okay," and he like goes in.
Right.
as you climb up, Edith walks in and kind of takes in the room. And what are you doing?
Me and Thistle. I'm just taking a look around the perimeter of the house. Nobody home, but maybe I can find some evidence of them having left or when people were here last. The fire's still going, so it must have been recent. If they're out here on their own, maybe they have some sort of animal companion of some sort.
So go ahead and roll your wits plus survival.
Yeah.
And since Thistle is helping, you can add the D10 Thistle.
Oh, wait a minute. Wits plus survival plus Thistle. All right. That is 2 successes, an 8 and a 7.
So you will notice the following. Again, there's no sign that people packed up and left or anything like that. The fire looks like it was maintained recently.
Mm-hmm.
But everything else feels like it's 4 or 5 days old at least. Like whatever fruits or vegetables would be kind of hanging out, or the milk has curdled, things of that nature. Like there's definitely been a number of days since people have been here.
Something feels very wrong.
You notice Edith is at the counter, and she's looking through some grains and herbs and dust that are kind of on the ground. She smells them, and she's found a mortar and pestle, and checks it out, and then looks at you. And I'm afraid there's been a tragedy here. And while she's saying that, upstairs, you come up the stairs, Maxwell, and find.
Oh, I think it was me.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm getting there.
Oh, sorry.
You come up, Maxwell, and you almost bump into. Why am I blanking on your character's name? On Grayson. You almost bump into Grayson as Grayson has climbed up the stairs and stopped right at the top. The top floor is kind of like a loft, kind of like just half the building, and it's kind of this open design, and you can see that there are a number of beds for children and for the adults. However, you also see in the big bed the forms of a number of people lying on their backs in the bed, clutching sunflowers that have dried out. On the wall behind them is the same prayer that was written on the wall downstairs. You can't really tell who or what the situation is on the bed because you kind of stopped really abruptly when you saw that. There is no smell of decomposition or anything like that. And Maxwell, you almost kind of bump into Grayson and then see the same thing.
That's deeply unsettling. Are their eyes open?
Well, I don't know. I can't tell. We gotta go. We gotta push past them.
All right, fine.
Go closer.
Yeah, but I feel like I'm gonna pull out my knife and just like have it.
Oh, like you 100% hear the hammer of his revolver cock back. Like he's not fucking around. He's just like, huh?
Yeah, I think we slowly, step by step, also watching where I'm stepping, make the way in.
You make your way in. you see lying on the bed 4 people. You see what appears to be 2 adults, a man and a woman, and what appears to be 2 young boys about the same age, sort of nestled in between them. The 2 adults are lying on their backs and holding these old, desiccated, dried out sunflowers in their hands. As you approach them, you notice that they look, for lack of a better word, like they've been tanned, and they are their skin is very dark and tightened, and as like all the moisture has been taken out, and they look desiccated and kind of dry, but otherwise unharmed.
I look over to Maxwell and I say, remember when I said that thing about the bog could pickle you? It's a little bit like this, but also, where's the daughter? And I look around because there's no sign of the wee girl that was also painted on the wall when I walked in. I kneel down and lift the bed skirt and just look to see if she's under there.
Maxwell, what are you doing?
I think he's kind of fascinated. Like, he's like very. This isn't something he's seen before, so he's very like, oh, that's pickling, huh?
There's actually, you'd find it rather interesting as I'm kind of clambering down a little. The thing about the bog is it preserves bodies in a weird way, so it's less so like mummification and more so like pickling. And as I do, I lift up the bed skirt just to see if there's anything under there.
You can, Maxwell, if you want, give me a wits plus science to do a kind of medical roll to see if you can detect anything under the bed. You see a bunch of little wooden crates, and when you pull them out, you can see that there's like winter clothing and things of that nature, extra blankets. Thank you, Maxwell. I'll get back to you. In there, and as you pull them out, and in one of them, when you pull them out, you see a book lying on top of whatever it is that was in there. It has that same symbol of the man that you've been seeing on it. It looks like a homemade book. The cover of the book has that symbol of the sun-headed man, and the title of the book appears to be The Crown of Noon. And all this is done by hand. The figure is painted by hand. The writing is done by hand. The book has a very made-at-home kind of feel.
I crack it open and just read like the first few pages.
As you do that, Maxwell, you got 2 successes, and you can see that there are no wounds on these people. They basically appear to have been dried out, basically complete. Somehow, you do see that there is traces on the corner of their mouths of where liquid might have kind of dripped out, so it's possible that they regurgitated a bit or something. But there are no wounds and nothing else. Their features are very at peace. They also, you would notice, I think, that they are wearing their like Sunday finest, like their nicest clothes. They have flowers decorating them, and she's wearing the handmade wooden jewelry that her husband has made for her, that she's made for herself, little beaded necklaces and things of that nature. And the kids similarly are kind of just nestled with each other in the center, and also wearing kind of their nicest clothes.
Grayson,
Yeah, what you got?
should we bury them?
I glance at the bodies. Well, and I lean a bit closer and I give it a whiff, because you had said that there's no like signs of like true decomposition, but I just wanted to get a smell on them.
There's a very floral scent that emanates from them. You can see that she's wearing a necklace that has a very medieval-like kind of painting of a man in beautiful robes sitting in a chair, and his head is the sun. and she's wearing that around her neck. And yeah, there's this very pungent smell of dried leather and herbs that kind of emanates from them.
I don't think we need to bury them, because I'm getting a wee sense that maybe this is their burial plot, if that makes sense.
Oh. That's gonna be weird.
I know. Look, we've all had our fair share of weirdness in the last several days, but I do think that this is a decent place for us to rest our heads tonight. And if we can get over the fact that there are 4 pieces of, well, I hate to say people jerky, but it's essentially what we're dealing with. If we can get over that, then it might not be a bad idea for us to stay here, just downstairs.
Just to make sure that we're on the same page, given the word usage that you used, right? We're not eating the ass jerky, right?
No, we don't eat the people jerky, but these, it's like, you know how they make jerky.
Well, I get you. I just was looking at, like, you know, the pictures and the flowers and all that stuff or whatnot. And there's all these really nice sunflowers that are right here next to the house. And, you know, I thought it'd be like, maybe they need to be with them or whatever, since, you know, maybe that's what they believe or whatnot. I mean, nothing like Tesla, but, you know, I mean, like, they obviously want to be with the sun people.
I think that's sort of the sense of things, isn't it? They've been laid out so carefully and with these flowers in their hands, all next to each other like neat little matchsticks. So I think maybe the best bet would be to leave them where they are, because disturbing the dead, especially disturbing the dead who are quite disturbing when it's laid out so fine, might not be the best idea, especially away from the Greenhold.
Right. Okay. So, and he pulls out a handful of nails, right? And like we're okay to, like, you know, close the door and like nail it shut, right? Just to be on the safe side, right?
I don't think that would be a bad idea.
Okay,
I think
all
that'd
right,
be
because
cool.
it's a little weird, and it's just just a you know, just a scotch. You know, I'm not necessarily one for that kind of stuff, but there's all kinds of fungi and stuff like that can take over bodies and make them come back to life and do things, and I
think that's smart thinking. Before you do that, I'm gonna just like make a sweep of the room to see if there's anything other than this wee book that's different.
When you do sweep of the room, you don't find anything else that sticks out. You were mentioning that you were looking inside the book. I'll read you just a little bit of kind of what you pick up off the top without kind of super deep about it. But what you're going to pick up is that, so they call this god the Crown of Noon. He has a blazing disc crowned with long and even rings. Sit where his head should be, too bright to gaze upon in old paintings. Beneath it is the body of a king, robed in layered gold, hands weathered with age, wearing rings said to have been forged from the first sunrise. His followers believe every promise made beneath the open sky is heard by him. Oaths broken in daylight invite slow misfortune. His temples are unusual, no roofs, only circles of standing stone. The kingly form represents authority, but not kindness. He rules as the sun rules, impartially. Wheat and weeds receive the same light. The righteous and the wicked alike are exposed beneath his gaze. To his faithful justice. To everyone else it is terrifying. And so on and so forth. It appears to be some kind of sun god cult. While you are searching around the room, downstairs, you, Xian, hear a scratching noise, and then you see Thistle kind of poke his head out at you from around the stairs that lead up and kind of... Come here.
Lucian kind of glances over at Edith and casually walks over to Thistle.
When you do, you find under the stairs a small door about 2.5 feet high, maybe 3 feet max. Closed off. It is padlocked on the outside, and there is a sun that has been painted by hand as if by a child or something on the door.
It's been padlocked on the outside.
Yes.
So I would need a key to get into it.
Yeah, or rip off the lock, or the
rip off
thing.
the lock. Yeah.
You know, it doesn't look super sturdy. You could probably rip out the lock flap out of the.
Right. Gonna glance over at Edith again, and I'm gonna.
Edith kind of looks at you, you know, with a bit of curiosity, wipes her hands very carefully with a rag, throws the rag in the fire, and comes towards you. Oh, what do you suppose they kept in there?
That's the question, isn't it?
And if they had children, it's probably just locked so they can't get in, right? Might just be food supplies.
That would be convenient. I would feel safer knowing what's in this house. Let's see here. And I'm gonna take out just like one of my regular arrows, and I'm gonna see if I can just shove like the arrowhead in a weak point of the latch and like fulcrum it.
Hi, Bash. Thanks for the donation, Bash. Really appreciate you. Hope you're doing well, man, tonight. Go ahead, and what you're going to do then is we'll call it a wits plus. Actually, we'll do a physique plus force.
You wouldn't call it agility plus precision?
Redescribe what you were trying to do.
I'm trying to precisely get my arrow into a weak point of the latch so that I can fulcrum it open.
It's gonna be a strength thing. You do know that. I was gonna say you do know that Grayson has lockpicks, but I don't think you do know.
I don't know that. You said physique, force.
And force, yeah.
Physique. All right. Well, I don't know why I'm asking. It's a decent. That's always. Come on, I rolled 2 6s earlier. Surely I can. Oh, but I have karma, don't I? And then I get another one, don't I? If I use a karma. I don't want to look like a fool, so I'm going to use one of my 4 that I have. Okay, that's only one. That's only one, and it is on the dice that I used for my karma.
One is all you need.
And obviously it's a 6. Because it's a d6.
Okay. And you start wiggling the arrow and kind of like, and you're starting to pull, and you hear something move on the other side of the door, like kind of backing away from the door as you're pulling. Do you keep going?
I think I pause, right? And then because I have the arrow in there, I know I can do it if I just do it. But I think with my other hand, I knock gently on the door.
Hello?
Hello?
Father?
No, I'm sorry. I'm a traveler. We've stumbled across your home. Are you all right?
Am I coming up?
I can let you out, yes. Have you been in there long?
I don't know. Is my punishment over?
Lucia doesn't say a word. She just does the latch and so that she can open the door. And she opens it like slowly, like peeking inside.
You see inside a young girl, maybe about 12 years old or so, dressed in a fine, dress. She's all kind of squished up in the corner, and when the light comes in, she shields her face. You can see that she's got kind of a little bedroll in here. You can see the remains of a candle that has long kind of been completely burnt out. You can see remains of food and things of that nature. There's a bit of a smell that hits you, of course, as she's but she's kind of like hiding her face. She's like, the light.
It's all right. It's all right. It'll take you a moment to adjust. Come on out.
And as she's coming out, the other two, you're coming down from downstairs. They're coming from down from upstairs, and you see the two of them under the stairs. And Luciana appears to be talking, doing something to the wall. You're muted.
That's right. I was. Those were inside thoughts. Now they're outside thoughts. Lucian, we got a handful of dead folks up here. It's kind of weird and kind of peculiar. Be on the lookout for anything weird. Okay, we're gonna nail this thing shut though.
Right. Right. Come on out, sweetheart.
You see the young girl come out. Edith backs away at this point, and when the two of you come down, she'll tell the two of you that it's clear that someone mixed some kind of poison in the kitchen here a little while back. The little girl comes out and she's still shielding her face, and she's like, You're not father? You're not father?
No, darling. We're travelers, like I said. We came because we're looking for shelter. That's all.
Did the Sun Father send you?
No. Are you alright?
I'm very thirsty. I'm very hungry.
Yeah, come into the kitchen. She was locked in there. It's been
In the root cellar.
It was latched when I came upon it.
Memories. Anyway,
she asked me if her punishment was over.
I don't know anything about punishment, but here, and I start just like cooking some sort of, not crazy meal, but a little something for all of us. I give her a wee bit of water. What is your name?
Dory. My name's Dory.
Dory, hi. My name is Greystone, but you can call me Grey. And these are my friends. And I just want to know why you were down there in the cellar and what you might know about what's happened here.
The Sun Father placed me in there. He said that my parents had been wicked. and displeased the crown of noon. Said I could still be saved, but I had to learn to love the sun again. So he said that if I stayed in there for a while, that I would love the sun again. And now it's just hurting my eyes a lot and giving me a terrible headache. You can see that she's been in there a little while.
I make sure she's getting that, and I go around and I just pull the curtains so it's not so bright in here, and I just say, the Sun Father said that your family had been disobedient, that they hadn't been worshipping properly. Do you know what that means? What happened? What were they doing?
I don't know. I just know we were supposed to go to the hole, and Dad didn't want to go, and he and my mother had big arguments about it. She said that everyone was going, that we had to go, and he said that we didn't live there anymore at the camp, and that we didn't have to go and do that stuff, that we could just continue worshiping the sun, crown of noon, on our own, in our own way here, as we've been doing that. The fact that we could grow the sunflowers was a sign that the crown of noon was pleased with us, but he wouldn't let us go to the ceremony at the hole. And the next morning, Father's son came with some of the other people from the camp, and they had a talk with my parents, and they told him that they had angered the crown of noon.
Right. Okay. Well, maybe some suppers in order, right? And I start dishing out whatever the fuck I made.
As you're doing this, you see Edith has been kind of walking around a little bit and keeping an eye on the girl, and at some point she reaches into her garment and pulls out a thread, and she does something with it, makes some kind of knot, and pulls out a nail from one of her pockets and slips it through the ring. And at some point, when the girl is kind of busy when you're serving her food, she comes over and she slips the nail into the girl's pocket of her dress. And then she kind of observes her for a while, and the girl just very happily starts eating and drinking. And after a while, Edith kind of looks at the lot of you. She's no fae.
A relief, I suppose.
Edith, what do you know about this sun and crown of noon?
Nothing, but the people who live outside the Greenhold all develop their own spirituality or systems of belief. Not heard of this particular one, but it's not much different than any other sun cult that has arisen throughout history. Just this one specifically I have not heard of. She sits down next to the girl and says, "Did the people who came from the camp, did they give your parents something to eat or drink?" And the girl nods and says, "They made tea for my parents and my brother had it, and the Sun Father wouldn't let me have it. He said that wasn't for me."
How old are you, Dory?
12, I think. 12 winters.
You think? Do you know roughly how long you were locked away down in that cellar?
No, it was a long time. I ran out of drink and food almost half as long as I've been in there.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Eat slow, then.
I feel like maybe I'm gonna be sick.
I just dish her up, like, I find, like, one of the mugs, or, like, whatever drinking vessel, and I dish her just, like, a little bit of broth, and I just say, just sip this. Go slow.
Maxwell, would you give me an empathy and insight roll?
Ooh, Anything else I can have you roll by chance?
No, but you can use karma.
I mean, I'll do it. It's
You can
not
use
really
karma.
his. Reading people obviously isn't his strong suit. Yeah, no, that's a. I rolled a 1 and a 2.
No worries. So as she's eating, you probably take time also to eat and drink. Edith is gonna come around to you like, well, the girl is busy, and I'll say, I don't think we should rest here. I think we should leave. We should take the girl and bring her to the camp that she's talking about. Take care of her.
Right, yeah. Probably for the best to let sleeping dogs lie, or sunflower cultists.
And she's lying to us.
What do you mean she's lying to us?
I don't know what about, but something about her story is not real. Or not true.
I grab Edith by the wrist and I take her out on the porch of the cabin and I just say, do you think she killed her parents?
I don't know. Someone made a beverage, a tea, that would knock them out. Not a killing draft unless something more was done to it, but there's no way for me to tell who did it. But it was done here.
I glance back. Is there any way that I could glean if this little gut, I want to verify what I think I'm hearing from Edith. So if there's any way to verify that.
What? What?
Just a wee chat outside there, gang. So, come on, off you pop.
I'm just reading her good.
I have a perception when detecting lies and traps as part of my all the tricks.
Yeah, that allows you to use your stealth instead of perception when doing that.
So can I detect a lie from
Well,
this little
you're gonna
girl?
have to talk to her because you didn't do that early. Talking, so you're gonna have to ask her questions.
Okay. Yeah, I think I probably would do that.
This was very good, thank you. Not quite like Mom used to make, but very good. I think my mom put honey in it and it just made it a little sweeter, but it was good. Thank you.
Yes, of course. Were there any other things that your mummy taught you how to make?
She taught me how to sew. That was my job. I had to sew the buttons and darn the socks for my father and my brothers.
Interesting. Did she ever teach you how to cook or mix herbs, tinctures?
Not really. My dad did most of that. But even he had to learn. We learned it from Grandma Apple from the camp.
Grandma Apple. Is she one of the elders at the camp?
She's very old. She's all wrinkly and stuff, yeah.
Ah, but we look up to our Granny Apple, right? That's what you said?
She's kind of scary, but she does always give you an apple when you visit.
Ah, you know what?
Apples. We can't grow them here, but they get them at the camp. They steal them from somewhere.
Well, you know what they say. An apple a day keeps the doctor away.
What's a doctor?
Sort of like someone who's a healer, you know, can take care of you.
Oh, like father son.
Sure, yeah. Can father son, can he heal people? I know you mentioned he's quite powerful. Do you know what some of his powers are?
Yeah, when he prays to the crown of noon, his hands get all warm, and when he puts them on you, he can heal things. He can make you feel better. I've seen him make people stop coughing, and I've seen him make people boils disappear and things like that.
My brain immediately is going to this idea of like a revival tent or something like that, and I think about did you ever see this son father? Did you ever see him? Let's say someone was quite sick enough that they weren't going to recover from it. Was there any way that he would help them pass on or ease their pain?
Yeah, he would give them to the crown of noon and they would burn.
Ah, okay, great.
You can give me, if you want, your roll at this point, your wits plus stealth for the person.
I'm gonna add a karma to that. So would I add a d6 to that?
When you add a karma, you add one of the smallest die that you have. So if you have a d8 and a 10, you have a d6.
Okay, here we go. I got a 6 and a 7, so 2 successes.
So you don't detect any lies in anything that she's told you, but you detect that she's very wily and crafty. She's not... She's kind of playing that down a little. Like, you kind of detect that she's got that same kind of thing in your eye that some people would say you have, of like, you know, she's a crafty little...
So, Dory, I have an idea. Why don't we make our way to the camp? I think that finding this granny apple might be a good idea in terms of giving you a good place to sleep tonight.
Looks at you and says, I think that would be a great idea. And then she gets up from the table and walks over to Lucien. Can I pet him?
You've got to ask. You've got to ask him. You've got to ask him.
What's his
for
name?
permission. Thistle.
Hi, Thistle, Thistle, Thistle. And she reaches over to the table and grabs a little grape or something and offers it in her hand, and it comes over and sniffs around and looks at you, Lucien.
Thistle, do you want a grape to be petted?
Sure. Also, I want that grape. He kind of scoots down and kind of climbs on her arm and wraps his tail around her arm and grabs the thing and starts eating. And she laughs, this delighted little innocent child's laugh, and starts petting him and sits down on the... Starts kind of like running up her and tumbling her, laughing.
Lucian's going to take this opportunity to look up at Gray and kind of cock the brow, like, did you get anything?
I give like a little signal of like, she's like me.
You see Lucien's like face, like, okay, right. Right, so if we're not staying here, we might want to get a move on. Dory, you're going to have to lead us to this camp. Do you know how to get there without your
You just have to follow the sunflowers.
Follow sunflowers.
Not very far.
You might want to take anything special, like anything of value with you. Be a good idea. I say this as I'm like putting the fire out.
Oh, okay, and she goes and she climbs upstairs.
I don't know if I should ask her if she heard anybody else walking around.
And she was in the root cellar.
Is nobody concerned that the little girl's about to go upstairs and see all of her dead family?
I have a
Nope.
feeling she already knows it's happened.
It's a different thing when you see it, though. Okay.
Fair.
All right. Fair enough.
She comes back down and she's putting the chain that her mother had around her neck, and tucks it away. She's got like a little knit jacket. Comes down. She goes, "We have to be quiet. They're sleeping."
Right, yeah, they are.
Sleeping. Yeah. Oh. Just look at the flowers, honey. Just look at the flowers. All right.
Dory, I did have one question for you before we go.
Mm-hmm.
You were in the cellar for a little while, but when we arrived, there was a fire going. Did you hear anyone walking around outside the cellar while you were in there?
Mm-hmm. I think it was someone from the camp that was coming to check up on me. The nights get pretty cold.
So, the camp knew that you were in there?
Mm-hmm. Father's son put me in there. He said I had to learn to love the sun again.
I get that. Can you do me a small favor, just because I like to draw things sometimes, and you do like he does. He like pulls out like his notebook and everything like that, right? Can you describe for me what the sun father looks like? Like, because you've seen him, right? What does he look like in your eyes?
What time of day?
When he told you to go inside the cellar there and close the door and have the door closed?
Oh, yes. He was wearing his robes like he always wears. He has these deep blue and gold robes and white sleeves that he wears when he's doing something official, like in the name of Crown of Noon. And his head was like this beautiful ball of white light that just was feeling really, really warm and not blinding me at all. It was kind of like, you know, when the sun is right above your head and it's bright and it doesn't get in your eyes, but it's very warm around.
Okay. Well, that's okay.
Dory, can you go stand with our friend Edith for a second? She's got a lot of fun little trinkets and baubles that you can
Edith looks at you like. Can Thistle come with me?
Thistle, can you look after Dory for a moment?
Thistle jumps up from you, wraps itself like a scarf, laughs again, and she's having that great. Goes outside, and Edith is shooting you a look that you know you're gonna pay for this.
Are we really going to return this little girl to a cult that locked her in a cellar?
Pots and kettles, girl. I don't know what you're talking about. You're in one.
What cult am I in?
Well, we all are, to an extent.
You worship a giant king in a tree. She worships a king in a sun.
I don't worship anything, first of all. I just acknowledge that they exist. Second of all, I haven't locked anyone in a cellar with limited food and water lately.
Now, granted, I'll admit, that's bad, right? Okay. But she just said that the people in the village knew that had happened.
That's what I'm saying.
Right? So, I'm just saying, don't pass judgment on the whole cult part, because, I mean, pots and kettles. But anyway, but what I will say is, we have to do something with her, because if where we're going is as bad as they say it is, she's gonna be a big liability.
I know.
And this is this. You know, I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't think it's great for her to be going back to them people anyway. But, well, how far are we from our village?
I want to send her alone back.
Well, we could send her with Edith.
We might need Edith.
I think
Do we really? Do we really?
Not to
Well,
mention
she is a root witch, so
She's a
Yeah,
judgy
I know.
bitch, but you know,
Oh, what about pots and kettles now?
I own it. I know, but there's only room for one of us. Okay, so.
Right. I don't think Edith has much of a choice in being here anyway. She was given one of the acorns by the Green Knight.
Okay, fair enough. However, well, is there another settlement or anything like that we could possibly, that isn't the fucking the freaky deaky sunflower cult?
Let me think. And when I say let me think, Bleak, I'm actually tapping into my my Green Warden cash knowledge. Are there any other, like, because when we were initially discussing it, we did talk about how there are some homesteads and things outside of
You
the
can do a wits plus for survival.
what's about survival. I'm so witty. I'm so good at surviving. D10 plus a D8, and just for good measure, I'll use another karma for another D8, just for fun. So
You're
that
gonna
we can-
get like 13 successes, and that's how you know.
Wouldn't that be awesome? Wouldn't that be great if that happened? Oops. Well, the one that fell outside of the thing was the failure, but the two in the thing were both 8s.
So the closest place would be a small town called Harrogate. That's about as far from here as Greenhold is, but it would add an extra day to your travel to.
Oh, what's the name of it again? One more time.
Harrogate.
Harrogate, right. There is another settlement nearby-ish Harrogate. It would add another day to our journey.
Alright, so deposit the little girl back with the sun cult, or we go out of our way by a full day to try and drop her off somewhere else.
There's some merit in going to a settlement anyway. We'd be able to resupply, talk to people, get more insight about where we're going. It'd probably be more stable for the little girl.
which I think, and I just sidelong glance at her. I go, some stability in this kiddo's life would probably be a good idea.
There is also one factor too. Most kids don't like strangers, and we're about to go take her to a place where nobody knows who she is, and she doesn't know who anybody is.
Yeah, but she took to us like flies to shit, so...
Yeah, but that's because she was hungry at the time.
Yeah, and I've got thistle. We can always ask her what she would like to do. Ultimately, you're right. We are strangers. It's children are so rarely given choices in their own lives.
Well, I mean, to be fair, there aren't many children actually running around, so the fact that we just found 2 dead ones and 1 live one is a whole different thing right now.
Yeah.
Which
I
leads
have
me to
no choice with
question
her
one
brothers
thing.
yet.
This makes me wonder something. How are their kids?
Right, how are their kids?
Because
Rebecca's supposed to be
Rebecca's
the
an anomaly. Rebecca's not, well, depending upon how you look at it, not supposed to be here. right? So how did this family have not one but 3 out in the wild beyond a settlement?
Maybe they were born.
Question to the story keeper. We would likely know, because we've been around for a year, would we likely know whether or not procreation in the traditional sense is possible amongst the civilization? Like, is repopulation in that way possible, or is it only through this ritual where people come back?
In the traditional sense.
All you know is that the people in Greenhold have not been able to procreate. Part of the ritual that you were taking part in the night before, this fertility ritual, was in the hopes of regaining the ability to do that. Because every year the number of people who return through the chrysalis are less and less. And there were none this year, so part of the fertility rite was to try and recreate that. And as far as you know, to the extent that you know, your knowledge is that it's impossible so far to procreate.
Okay,
Inside the Greenhold.
that's a good point, Maxwell. None of us have seen a kid in like over a year, because we've only been around a year, so what the fuck?
What was her name again? What
Dory.
Dory.
Dory, could you come here for a second, sweetheart?
She comes in out of breath. She's been running around and playing with Thistle, and she's like, "We going?"
Yeah, just a second though. So here's the thing, and he like takes a knee and he like gets down at her level, and he's like, "So here's the thing that I need for you to do for me. You see, we're like part of a team, right? We all come together as a team, right? So you've got to be a member of this team, and we have certain
team.
But there is a me. But you have to understand that to be in this team, you have to carry our special badge, okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I need you to close your eyes and hold your hand out. It's part of the thing to be part of the team, you know?
We all had to do it.
If I do it, can I get some lemonade? Could you
If we
really
have
use
some?
some lemonade right now?
Sure.
Ooh, it's hot out there.
Yeah, if we have some, sure, yeah. Mm-hmm. Isn't it actually really cold outside?
It's September, so it's kind of warm.
Okay.
Okay, just don't spit in my hand.
I'm not gonna. He pulls out one of the iron nails and sets it in her hand.
What am I supposed to do with this?
You just kind of hold on to it, and that's the thing. See, we're the iron nails, you know, and that's like our badge.
That's pretty stupid, but okay.
That's not stupid. That's a good name. We're tough, like nails.
Oh, yeah, we're
Okay.
tough like nails.
Can I have lemonade now?
Yeah, you can have
Sure.
some lemonade now.
Yeah, I
And he
got.
like
And
turns around and he just kind of does this.
I bring over a lemonade and I say, Dory, do you remember your last birthday, for example?
Mm-hmm.
When was it? Do you remember what time of year?
Yeah, last winter, spring, last spring.
Last spring, okay. Do you remember a birthday before that one?
Mm-hmm.
How many birthdays would you say you could remember back to?
I don't know, but like you asked me earlier how old I am, and
But you remember, like, being a wee bear and just a little kiddo running around outside. Have you lived here your whole life?
mm-hmm.
And are you the oldest?
Mm-hmm.
And do you remember when your brothers were born, for example?
Yeah, they were born at the same time. And my mother huge belly.
Oh, twins. I see. Interesting. She okay.
That was
Huh.
cute.
Father son said
Okay.
that mother was blessed.
Yeah, I would say so. And was everybody born here in the house?
I think so. I don't know where my dad and mom were born.
Ah, okay. That's good to know. Just want to get a little sense of our newest member of the Iron Nails.
Are we going soon? It's going to be dark and we're not supposed to be out at
Yeah,
dark.
of course, of course.
Yeah, there's just one question. One question, Dory. We've got
I'm
two
sure I have a lot of
options. Right?
questions.
I know, it's difficult making decisions, but it just means you're old enough to make them for yourself. We've got two options. We can either take you back to the village with Father Son and Granny Apple and so on, or you can come with us to a nearby settlement. It is somewhere with a lot of people. It's pretty well populated. It's pretty secure. It's not in the woods, so to speak. But it would be all new people. It'd be different from the life that you've had so far.
To the camp with Father Son.
Right, that's what I thought you were gonna say. Okay.
He loved meeting you.
I get that impression.
Okay, so maybe we make our way there, because as Dory pointed out, it's only gonna get darker.
So true, Gray. All right, just follow the sunflowers, you said, right? Let's pack up, team. Go iron nails.
So you will each erase a ration of food and water, and then erase another ration, but just one from the group. Whoever wants to do it is fine, but each of you should erase one of water and one of food, and then you need to erase one for her. So whoever wants to donate a ration of food.
I only had one ration of food, so...
I'll donate my other ration of food.
You start heading out, following the fields of sunflowers, and every little bit along the way you will notice little patches of them, and at some point you kind of veer off the little trail you've been following and kind of cut through the woods, and she's very happy, and she's kind of running around and chasing Thistle around. And as you're walking, Edith will say, "So what was that all about?" Sending me out to babysit.
You just got a magic touch.
When was the last time you babysat a child?
Ever?
Exactly.
We can call it a learning experience. Think about how your horizons are broadened now.
Kato, I'll give you a wits plus stealth roll.
Okay. Where are my karma points at? Let's see here.
It's never a good when we make
You know, I feel like it would be useful. Wait, that's what they're there for. Keep moving in my chair. Wits plus stealth. Okay, I'm gonna use a karma. Where in the fuck? Hold, please. Sorry. Okay, here we go. Okay, no fucking whammies, man. Cross on sale. I feel like I've been cursed. Where's Danhausen? Because this is insane. I rolled 2 1s and a 2.
You have been cursed.
I have been cursed. Someone call him.
As you You don't pick up anything, but you do notice one thing though, as you're kind of like standing there, and you realize you have something in your left hand you've been toying with last little while.
I open my hand.
You see the necklace that the mother was wearing, that the neck, you have it in.
Well,
Right, because that's not weird.
I take a moment and I look it over and I go, Dory, you dropped this. I think maybe it wasn't clasped super well.
Yeah, you're right. And she comes over. Did she looks at this? Did you take my necklace? Would you mind closing your door? Did you take my necklace? And then she comes over to you. Huh, that's strange. Thank you for finding it. And she back around.
Sure. Sorry, I just saw it on the ground.
Thank you. Picks off again. And Edith looks at him and says, so what does me babysitting have anything to do with it?
We just kind of gave her a quick little test. Some things weren't adding up. And, now she's a part of the Iron Nails.
Perfect. We have to drop her off and get rid of her as soon as possible.
Yeah, maybe don't be so harsh, perhaps, might be the way to put it.
Edith, how are they having children? Children are being born here.
Yeah, naturally.
It
She's the
appears
eldest.
that people outside the Greenholds are able to procreate. People that live inside the Green, people in the Withering, and the people who live in the outlying areas can, which is why some people choose to live in the outlying area. But if we cannot reproduce in the Greenholds, it is because that is the will of the Green. Perhaps it will change at some point. Perhaps there is something we have to do, but if that is the will of the Green, then that is what we must follow.
And you just blithely accept that answer.
And y'all call me weird. I'm just saying, you understand the faulty in that logic, right?
Part of the reason why the world turned out the way it did was because of overpopulation. The Green is simply trying to control that aspect, making sure that we don't cause the same problems that we did before. It's worthy of respect. There is a plan. We have to trust it.
I'm still trying to wrap my head around the idea of a god in which you worship that is, denying you the ability to procreate, but if you walk far enough away from it, you can breed like jackrabbits. I read about those.
The only place that is safe and the only place where people are actually living safely and with enough food and fresh water and the ability to grow is the Greenhold. And as you may have noticed, the Greenhold grows every year. Eventually, the Greenholds will reach each other and connect and cover the world. The people who live outside the Greenholds live in hell.
Edith?
We pay for our little piece of paradise with that simple fact that we do not have children, but also something you have not noticed because you have arrived here less than a year ago. We do not age.
What?
That's not natural.
Those of us who live in the Greenhold do not age. I would be, by all reckonings, 110 years old.
Come again?
I have a question.
That the character or,
No, it's the character. Are we aging now that we've stepped out of the Greenhold? Or simply by virtue of our returning in the Greenhold, are we ageless?
That's an interesting question that I don't have a full answer to yet. The Green Wardens that have gone outside of the Greenhold don't seem to age. Macklin has spent most of his time outside the Green, and while I will say that he looks like he has weathered a little bit, I don't feel that he has aged appreciably. That he's.
How old were you when you first came to the hold?
Same age as I appear now, 41-ish.
So you've been around for 70 odd years?
Yeah, math issue. She would have said she would be about 100. Sorry, you're right.
That's alright. So you've been around for 60 odd years?
Since the very beginning.
Who was first? You? Holden?
It was me.
Wait.
Every Greenhold, the first person to return was. Of course, I wasn't a root witch at that time. I learned in my first year here alone. And then the next year, more people were in. And then more and more and more and more. And then eventually the number started declining.
So, let me get this straight. If you come from the Greenhold, you're essentially immortal. However, if you stray too far from the Greenhold, you're no longer immortal. You become mortal, but you gain the ability to breed.
I don't know if it's being in the Greenhold that makes us not age. I believe that... See, part of the reason why the world went the way it did was because people had no vested interest in making sure that future generations had it as good as they did. They knew they were here for a finite time, and so the idea of doing something that 100, 150 years from now would bear poison meant nothing for most people. And so by making us custodians of this place, by choosing us to be here and letting us know that whatever we do to this place, we will have to endure, gives us an incentive to be more careful.
I don't think that's necessarily true.
We've had some people in the past that decided that that was not for them, and they've left the Greenhold and gone off to die in the Withering, or settled into outside places like Harrogate, or the home that we've just left in the camps that we're going to.
But you made it sound as though they're in a hellish existence. They're thriving. They have a home. They're planting. They're growing. They're harvesting. How is that hell? That's life. That is the circle of life.
The hell I was referring to is the Withering, which you have not seen yet, and believe me, when you see it, you will understand. Secondly, we just left the house where 4 of the family members were killed in some strange manner, possibly by their daughter, and we are now taking this young girl back to the cult that may or may not have either induced her to do this or done it themselves. I don't think that they are living better than we are in the Greenhold.
And you want to kill an innocent girl to appease a fucking tree.
I never said anything about killing the innocent girl. I am here trying to save her.
Try and be more enthusiastic about it.
My first priority is the Greenhold and everyone in it. If I am forced to choose between one of you or anybody else, one person, or the entirety of the Greenhold, I will not hesitate. I will do what is best for the Greenhold, and if you have any sense, you would do the same. This does not mean that I'm not willing to make efforts to save everyone, which is why I am here and why I am helping you now. If we can save everyone, then let's do that. Let us hope that it never comes down to a choice, because the inability to make the difficult choice is what got us here, and I don't intend to Does that satisfy?
No, but I'll leave it alone for now.
Obviously, Maxwell, should you feel that the Greenhold is not the proper place for you and or your daughter, as you said, the people here thrive, so perhaps they would welcome you.
And you would stay the head root witch. Convenient.
We've got
I got a lot of reruns of The West Wing, okay? I know what's going on here, okay? You're not my president.
We've got a long journey ahead of us, so let's make the most of it. And, well, hurry. Not much of a tracker, but we don't have a whole lot of daylight left.
But you do.
We'll see what that daylight has in store for us, why don't we?
Why? Are you afraid to be out at night?
I think everyone should be afraid to be out at night when there are shadows hunting us.
Watch out for the whistlers.
Isn't that the name of the furry thing?
No.
No.
You haven't been saying whistle this whole time?
No, it's thistle. TH. Thistle.
Oh, no wonder he wouldn't come when I called him. I just kept going, and he wouldn't come, and I was like, oh, well,
Oh,
weird.
it's not a dog either.
My name has been Thistle all this time.
I've been here the whole time.
You continue walking through the forest, through the moors, rather, following the strange little appearances of sunflowers. Eventually, you arrive at a sight that is quite impressive as you emerge from a little copse of wood. You see a literal field, a sea of gold, of sunflowers. As far as the eye can see, and just beyond, you can see the sky growing amber as the sun is slowly about to set. Dory gets very excited and says, we're almost there, and starts running, and soon disappears inside the field of sunflowers, and all you can see is some of the sunflowers kind of moving and jerking.
Dory, come back. Fuck.
Well, she obviously knows where she's going.
Yes. I almost wonder if we shouldn't let her go on her own from here.
I don't think that we can leave a 12-year-old girl, no matter how suspicious, to run through a field of sunflowers as tall as she is.
Why not? She knows where she's at.
Edith.
I'd like to lay eyes on this father-son.
Ah, yes.
I was afraid you were going to say that.
Of course she's going to say that.
You have to, I mean, cults got to size each other up.
For someone who claims I don't care about your daughter, you're very happy to let this one simply disappear off on her horse.
She's not mine.
She starts walking.
She's also a bit strange. Something
Probably
off about her, and I also follow into the sunflowers.
Yep. Mhm.
You walk through the sunflowers. I'm going to ask everyone to make a wits and survival check to see if you get lost.
I'm so good at that.
Oh yeah.
Cool,
that's-
cool,
that's-
cool.
that's cool. Yeah. Sure. It's gonna be fucking top tier on this one.
Oh, it's like my best thing.
Oh, there we go. Okay, I'll take that. You said the top two numbers count as successes, right? Like on a D12, I rolled an 11. So does that
That's
count
2
as
successes, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Wits and survival.
Guys, what
ooh.
eldritch god did I piss off? Because I swear to fuck.
Is there any way? Because I rolled a 10 on my D10 and an 8 on my D8. Is there any way I can give one of my 3 successes to Gray? Can I just hold Grayson's hand? Can I just hold Grayson's hand while we're going through the?
Yeah,
Well-
so here's what happens. So, Kurt, Maxwell, you do fine. You kind of guide yourself through and you emerge there with the others. As you are going through, Lucien, the trees, you hear in your head Macklin's voice, who says, "You're losing one of your herd. Veer to the left or you're going to lose it completely."
I did do what he says. Gray,
Yep.
stop moving. You're going the wrong way.
Gray, you're lost as fuck. You came out a few feet away from where you came in.
Son of a bitch.
I'm coming to get you. Hold on. And in my head. And how exactly are you keeping an eye on me?
Well, that would be sharing all my secrets with.
I think I could use a couple secrets right now, couldn't I, Macklin?
Been following you since you left the Greenhold. Edith wanted to make sure that someone was watching.
Why didn't you tell me you were coming?
Thought it'd be a surprise. I forgot he has an Irish accent. Just imagine that.
Does Rowan know you're out here with us?
Well, of course. She gives all the others, doesn't she?
Yeah, she does. Well, I can't say that I'm not happy to have you nearby.
Oh, well, I feel blessed. Touched. Thank you so much. I mean that. It's very nice to know that you're happy that I'm here.
Don't let it go to your head, alright?
I'll do my best.
Are you going to stay covering the rear, or are you going to properly join the group?
Oh, I it's probably best if I just shadow you for now. Keep this between you and I.
You're not coming all the way, are you?
Hey, I'll go as far as needed.
Alright, well, let me go fetch my little sheep, why don't I?
She's lost on the edges there. I think she came back out around where you went. You went in the first time. He seems a little bit mighty pissed.
Yeah, I'm almost there, Gray. Hold on.
And when you emerge, you just see Gray kind of like pacing and like starting to panic a little bit and like getting a little like teary, but like, okay, like just really trying so hard to like, it's like when all of your friends like jump the fence, but you're like too scared of getting scratched by the barbed wire. Like that is what Gray is going through right now.
Come on.
Oh, fuck. Chris, thanks.
Don't worry. You don't actually have to be at the front, even though you've been nominated as team leader.
Quite frankly, I don't want to be a leader in any capacity. I don't know why I was delegated, but I just feel like I'm kind of like a lost little lamb here, you know?
It's funny you should say that. You're doing surprisingly well being a mediator. I know exactly why you've been nominated.
Well, it's either that or I get so sick of both of you that I just flip a knife right through your boot and pin you to the floor. So, you know, I'm being diplomatic.
I appreciate your restraint, Gray. Truly.
And you just see Gray like very like gently wiping away tears as she like tromps behind you through the sunflowers.
It'll be fine.
I don't like being lost. It really scares me a lot. I get very scared with this idea of being lost, or not knowing where I am, or being out in the woods and not having a landmark of some kind to feel like I know what's going on. Do you know what I mean?
It's a smart fear to have. I haven't exactly left the Greenhold very often, and there's good reason for that. Just stick by me. I'm not a terrible navigator. I'll try to keep you from getting lost, eh?
Yeah, thanks. That's really very nice of you. Thanks.
Yeah, I'm not a total heinous bitch all the time.
I'm not the one who said that. I've got no qualm.
He didn't say that either. I know it's hard for him. You know, I know I understand it's hard for him. It's not even really about him. I don't think, not all of it. Like, yeah, it hurt me that he didn't listen to me just because we're friends, but
I mean, I don't know about you, but that whole ritual, ceremony, festival thing really boiled down to kind of proving ourselves, and well, we didn't fucking prove ourselves, so now I feel like we're sort of the village laughing stock, and maybe that's why we're the ones who are responsible for going out and figuring this shit out.
yeah, we're expendable, right? That's what Edith said.
Well, so is she,
Yeah.
lest we forget.
Would it really be such a bad thing for Max and Rebecca to not be in a Greenhold?
Well, whatever disagreements there may be, there's a reason that they're there, and
No, yeah,
kind of-
I don't like. It's not that I want Max to leave. I don't hate him. I'm just. There's a certain kind of anger you get with family, where only family can get you that angry.
right.
You know what I mean? But Max has never believed in any of it, even when it's right in front of his face, and even when he does see it, he tries to math and logic and equation his way out of things. They have to make sense. Out here, at least what we've seen, if you stay away from the withering, it makes sense. It's like what life used to be. I can't imagine he wants Rebecca to be a root witch. So, even if it does go well for Edith, and spitefully, we might not want her to keep her position. I don't know, maybe he shouldn't dismiss it out of hand.
No, I agree. And for all his math and logic and reason, I think he knows that at the very least there's something about Rebecca that's special.
Yeah, well.
And if I do know one thing about Maxwell, he's a very caring father. And if it means allowing Rebecca to thrive, I think he'd do anything for her.
Yeah, no, you're definitely right about that. We'll just have to see what happens, but I will try to behave so that you don't get sick of the two of us, and what was it you said? Flip a dagger into my boot?
That's only if you're really pushing it.
All right, yeah, I'll keep that in mind. And we're walking through the sunflowers.
Meanwhile, Maxwell, you stumble out of the field of sunflowers kind of at the same time as Edith on the side, and look ahead, and what you see is a camp that's mostly tents. So there's all these kind of white tents that are sort of laid out fairly big tents laid out in this kind of semicircle, you can see that there is this massive pit that is dug in the ground in front of this all these tents, and that there's a massive bonfire that is currently not lit up, that is built inside, and you can kind of get the sense that this pit is dug out to kind of look like a sun, probably. But you don't see any fire already in it. You don't see anyone either kind of right away around the camp. It looks kind of deserted, actually.
Oh, well.
All right. So he's immediately going to start looking around and poking around and trying to see what it is that he can see. Because while things sometimes look deserted, they generally aren't, especially if there's no sprinkles.
When you say look around, you mean at the camp or outside of the camp?
Like that whole he is basically doing the look, listen, feel thing to try and see, he may not be able to see anybody, but does he hear anybody kind of thing? You
don't, in fact, hear anything. You don't hear any animals. You don't hear any people. You don't hear.
Well, that's always a promising thing. I think he... Ooh, here we go. He's going to do his thing. And he is going to pull his pack around. And he's going to light his lantern.
You pull your pack around and you light your lantern without too much of an issue. It is kind of getting close to dark. You light up the lantern, and as you step forward, you start seeing, just as the others are coming out of the sunflowers, you start seeing bodies on the ground everywhere.
I think he turns around and like with a level of his voice being able to carry that it should not, he just goes, Lucian, like fucking just out of just letting that shit rip.
I think Lucian's grip on Grayson's hand tightens, and she instinctively lurches forward to get to there, until the two of them are with you. Lucian's kind of panting a little bit. What? Oh, do I also see?
He just points.
Yeah, you see dead bodies everywhere, littering the entire area, 30, 50.
Oh, good gods. Do I have any sense of do they look like, not that I saw the bodies, but do they look like the bodies that were up in the, are they I imagine these two described to me
you're going
that
that
were
close,
human
you're
jerky.
going that close, you're going inside the camp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So go ahead, Lucienne, and give me a wits plus survival. Start with that.
Yeah, I can do that.
While she's doing that, can I just make sure that there's nothing out to get her, watching the perimeter, as she had said?
Something's gonna get me. Well, that's. How many karma do I have? Varl, how many?
At the top, if you're on Twitch, at
it's
the top of the
pinned.
chat, it's pinned.
I got 2. Never mind. Sorry, Varl. Let me roll another D8. Why don't I? I'm gonna use another one. Please. Already, yeah. All right, that's a 6. So 1.
So this is what you get. The bodies have been killed with arrows, spears, swords, axes, things of that nature, skulls crushed, bodies pierced. You see, as you approach the camp, you don't see anything of the sort, but as soon as you're in the camp, you see hoofprint, like horse hoofprints everywhere, as if there was like 20 or so horsemen that galloped through this camp. You see the paw prints of hounds, very big. Some of the hounds have dragged down some of the people and killed them by ripping their throats out and whatnot. And everywhere inside the camp, you see these prints, these paw prints and these hoof prints, but there are none at all outside the camp, leading to the camp. And it looks like everyone massacred probably 2 days.
We need to leave.
Yeah, we need to leave, like, immediately.
Where's the girl?
I don't know if there's a role that I can make or whatnot, but seeing what's happening here and seeing that these prints or whatnot are here just in the camp, right? I don't know whether or not Maxwell would know this, but Kurt, on the other hand, is going, did the Great Hunt just come through this motherfucker? Because that's what it's looking like to me. I'm getting Witcher vibes right now, so I'm really scared. So is there a role that, like, I can make some sort of knowledge base or legend lore or something?
Yeah, you can make an empathy and folklore.
Okay.
Of course, it's empathy.
Yeah. Bing. All right.
You've got 5.
I'm gonna. You know what? I'm gonna use one.
Also, how, like, classic Bleakseason is it for there to be a folklore, like, function mechanic in this game?
Guys, the name of the channel.
Yeah, we'll call it Folk
Oh my
and
god, he said the name of the thing.
Fuzzy said the name of the channel. I'm just picking up more and more of fucking Gray's accent. I don't even have my own accent
I'm
anymore.
so sorry. I have to stay so locked into it, otherwise it just falls apart.
It's just me now.
Yeah, Kurt, you're muted.
They're inside thoughts.
Inside thoughts now are outside thoughts. I rolled a on my D6 that I burned my karma for to use. I got a 6.
Excellent. The first thought that comes to your mind is that, and like you have, with the 6, you've heard of the Wild Hunt, and this is what it looks like.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, it actually is called the Wild Hunt.
Right. Yeah, that.
Great.
Where's the girl? We have to go.
When you turn, you see Edith is kneeling on the ground, and her hands are in the ground itself, and her eyes are sort of rolled back in her head, and is mumbling under her breath, and she's shaking. And then she pulls her hands out, and when she pulls them out, you see for a second that the fingers are very long and almost like root-like, and then they kind of reform to the regular fingers, and she sways a little bit, and she gets up, and she's like, "You're right, Max. Hearn Hunter was here. We need to leave."
Well, no rest for the wicked, I suppose.
Look around quickly. There may be provisions and food left that we can use.
Dory!
We can't stay too long. Dory is a little bit further away from you, kneeling next to a dead body, and sort of looking down at them.
Lucien's gonna go over to there.
You see, at her feet is this man dressed in these blue and gold robes. They're very beautiful. He is a handsome man with a full head of silver hair, and he looks like he slashed across the throat and pierced, maybe with a spear. And she kneels next to him and she's like, how can they do this now? The sun won't rise again. It killed father's son, the one who spoke for the crown of noon, and now the sun won't rise.
Lucien's gonna.
How can the
crouch
sun
down.
rise? How can the sun rise if father's son is dead? Why would they do this?
Dory, listen to me. He's just a man.
No, his father's son. He spoke for the crown of noon. He heard it. He told us what it said. He was the guiding light.
Sweetheart, he's just a man. He bled like a man, and he died.
Don't say that. Don't say that.
It's true. The sun is going to rise again, and you are still alive. I'm so...
I said don't say that.
sorry. I'm sorry this has happened. This is terrible. It's unfair.
Give me a wits plus perception.
Yeah. Yes, I can do that. Yes, I can. I'm even better at that one. Do I have 2d10? I do. Where did it go?
Where did I put you? Other one. Here you are.
That should have been the voice you went with for your character the whole time.
There you are, my precious.
That is 2 successes on 2 6s.
So you notice in time that she has grabbed an arrow from your pack, and she swipes it at you like to cut you with it, and you kind of back away just in time, and she says, "Don't say that!"
I'm gonna catch her wrist. And I'm gonna take the arrowhead that she's holding, and I'm going to nick the palm of my hand, and I'm going to put my hand next to his throat. Look.
Don't desecrate him with your blood. Don't do it. And she's like pulling you and kind of trying to wrestle you away from him.
Dory,
don't do it.
Look.
Don't do it.
Just look. Look. It's the same.
I'll kill you. Stop.
You won't.
I'm going to get closer.
Want to bet your life on that?
I think if the sun doesn't come up tomorrow, then you can kill me.
Then you're dead
Because I will
already.
be a liar.
She tries to get her hand out of your grip.
I take the arrow from her hand before I let her go.
She grabs her wrist and she looks at all of you. You're all gonna die in darkness for what you did.
We didn't do this.
She did. And she points at Lucien and turns around and starts running towards the sunflowers.
Dory!
Let her go.
Do you try to catch her or do you let?
She needs to see it.
I look at Lucien. Are we taking after her? Oh no.
She has to see the sun come up. We can't show it to her.
You understand she's never gonna see the sun come up, right?
I think you give that little girl far too little credit. She'll make it to sunrise.
Well, I'd say sleep with your weapon as close to you as possible in that case.
You need to go. We should never have come here. We should have left her at the house, but we made that decision. now we move on. Darkness will be here soon, and I'd rather not be in the hunting ground of the wild hunt. It does.
True enough. Are there any provisions here to be?
Yeah, you'll be able to find, say, 3 other rations of food. The water is not good. It's all kind of...
Okay. I'll replenish.
Could I take one of those
Yeah.
grub bags? Thanks.
Kurt, if you want water, you could actually use your thing. And
I was gonna ask, could I use my not Brita water filter and get us another unit of water out of this?
Yeah, you absolutely could.
Okay. All right. It's a Britty, not a Brita.
Britter.
Britter. Yeah, there we go. Britter.
You quickly go through the camp. There are also a number of weapons available if you want them, things like swords and bows and things like that. So if you want anything, you can grab whatever you like.
I want a sword.
You want a sword, you can find one, no problem. Grayson, you realize at some point that you're playing with something with your left hand again, and you realize you have the necklace.
Fuck. Not again.
Oh, real kleptomaniac, Gray.
Well, perhaps she just kept dropping it. How about that? And I took it into my my coat. You see that I've got this long coat on that's got all these myriad pockets. And I just took it into one of those pockets.
You grab whatever you wish to grab quickly, and soon find yourself moving off away from the sunflower, the sea of sunflowers that is, back towards the forest. You don't have a lot of time to try and find a suitable place. And as you are walking away from this place, you see mist again start to rise as your feet again start squelching into the moors. The mist again start to rise out of the ground and soon starts to envelop you. You get, Lucien, in your head, you get Macklin's voice again, who says, should I do something about the girl?
Just watch her. Make sure she doesn't slit my throat in the middle of the night.
I'll do my best.
I'd appreciate it. No, there's not much to be done. She's not going to believe anything is different from what she believes until she sees it's different.
Very well. I'll keep an eye out. I'll let you know. As you head off into the forest, since you are the Green Warden, Lucien, go ahead and make me a wits and survival roll to see if you can find a suitable place to lay your head in.
Alright, guys. Can I find us a house again? Hopefully not cursed. That's 2 7s.
Excellent. You guide them. You remembered when you came out, before the mist rose again, that there was what appeared to be a little bit further off, maybe like a natural like cave or something like that, in the side of one of the hills, and you start heading towards there. The mist has kind of risen and started to get really in the way. Like, it's difficult to see ahead, and you get the idea of kind of like pulling out ropes and everyone kind of holding onto the ropes so that you don't get separated or lost. And Maxwell's got his lantern out. And as you're moving, you start hearing somewhere in the distance the sound of a bell, like a small bell. Ding, 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 ding. And then you hear another one kind of answer it a little bit further down. And then another one a little bit over to the other side. Ding, 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 ding. Ding, 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 ding. And they seem to be approaching and being in a kind of like, almost kind of like getting around you, and it's like the bells are communicating.
How good are you guys at climbing trees?
I'll
Well,
try
according
my
to this guy
best.
Darwin,
What about Darwin?
I follow Lucien's lead because fuck the woods.
I just want to get out of the way. And if there isn't like a hollow or something for us to duck into, the next logical step is up. So is there a hollow or something?
No, but you will find a couple of trees, like small copse of trees that looks big enough to kind of support your weight, and you kind of gather around it and start climbing up and pulling up the bags, and you can hear the bells now kind of surrounding you and approaching and getting closer and closer through the mist, and you kind of hurry up and try to climb up on the tree and get the packs up, and the bells are ringing, ding, 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 kind of answering each other, all kind of overlapping and ringing together. And as you start climbing up into the tree, you see shapes start to emerge, and they're about 8 feet tall, maybe, kind of very ungainly, like kind of large at the bottom and kind of moving and swaying like this, and then there's kind of like a long neck, and then like a head that comes down like this, about 8 feet tall, and they're kind of approaching and surrounding you. What do you want to do?
I take out my longbow.
I'm gonna pull out that gun that I have.
The shapes eventually start to coalesce, and as they approach you and surround you, you realize that they are normal-sized people who are carrying these really big bags on their backs, and then on these backs are these poles that go up, and the bells are at the top of the bells. And as they kind of gather around you, you can see they all have rifles and swords, things like that in their backs. And they have these huge backpacks that like are overflowing with stuff. And they're all wearing these kind of gator-like masks, like kind of rolled up all the way up to here, covering their faces, and then hats on, and they have these round kind of goggles on their eyes. And one of them pulls down his gaiter, and you see the face of a man with couple of days growth of beard. You always climb trees in the mist for fun? Or are you trying to hide?
Well, you see, from a distance, you kind of looked like not people. And so better safe than sorry, you know?
Yeah. Great bloody long-necked cows.
Yeah, keeps the critters away. And Edith looks down and says, they're rovers.
Oh, hello.
It'll look like you're in need of a bit of a camp for the night. We're about to set up ourselves just over yonder there. If you want to join us, you're welcome to do so.
Oh, for fuck's sake, yes, absolutely. And I just like,
Okay.
both legs hooked on the side of the tree and like just slide all the way down, like it's a regular way that I get down from high places.
I like to think that Maxwell just kind of falls out of the tree.
So
And
rovers,
he just like pops up, just
rovers, you know, are kind of like they're the nomads, if you will, of this world. They travel from Greenhold to Greenhold and village to village, and they bring news and peddle things and whatnot. And I think maybe in your mind, ever since you'd heard about them, you thought they would travel in caravans or something like that, kind of like, you know. But no, it appears it's just a bunch of men and women with big bags on their backs and bells attached to them that walk everywhere. As you come down from the tree, they'll say, just, you're very welcome to come with us. I'm sure you have a very interesting story to tell. And we have some also. We bring news from a little bit everywhere. We'll be happy to have you over. And as you're kind of getting your packs and things ready, go ahead. Kato, and give me a wits and perception, and you can use your stealth.
Excellent. I'm going to do that, and I'm going to preemptively. I think I got 2 karma left. So I'm going to burn one of those. And just remind me, they're on stilts. Is that what you said? They were kind of like on these.
No,
No,
they have something long.
Oh, they have
Yeah,
something
they're
long
packs,
up
and
and
they
yeah.
have like a perch, like this long pole that sticks out that has the bell and a bit of a light on top, and you realize
okay.
it's because in the mists and in the forest it would kind of make something weird.
Got it. Okay,
The
thank you.
critters away and us.
That's 1 success.
That's good. As they take you a little bit further on, you arrive at this area that's in what appear to be old ruins. There's like an old archway and like partial walls and a couple of columns and things like that. And they, you know, to whether or not your characters would remember what Roman columns look like, but they look like old Roman ruins basically. And you can see that there's already like the traces of fires that have been built here and whatnot, and they kind of arrive and start taking off their packs. And you see when you arrive there that there's a young woman there who's dressed like the others but doesn't have a pack, and she's just got like a bunch of weapons, and she's already kind of built the fire and whatnot. And one of the rovers explains that one of their numbers is called the outlier, and that this is what this person is. And you go, well, what does an outlier do? And just as they're about to start explaining that, you Gray see sitting in the shadows nearby, just sitting there, head down, hanging back, smoking a cigarette.
Yeah.
A man, wide-brimmed hat, takes a pull on his cigarette, drops it to the ground, steps on it, looks up. You see 2 reddish eyes under the brim of the hat. He reaches up and dips his hat, then leans back into the shadows, and then you can't see him anymore.
I call out to where he was, and I say, you know, those things will kill you.
The shadows don't say much, but you hear off in the distance a number of ravens cawing as they speed off into them. And that, my friends, is where we are going to end tonight's session.
Good Bleakseason.
Wow.
Well then.
Of Dark Roots.
I hope.